Hi, my name is Ty, and I'm going to do a little video on how I process my flax seed supplement that I take daily, and go over some health benefits of flax seed. First, we're going to go into the WebMD or webmd.com, which I like, and I like to back things up by reputable websites. But as you can see here, the benefits of flaxseed, they're calling it, it may be the new wonder food, that it helps fight heart disease, diabetes, and breast cancer. And it was cultivated as early as 3000 BC in the 8th century. And flaxseed, some of the benefits has the omega-3 fatty acids, which are the good fats that are good for the heart. And each tablespoon contains about 1.8 grams of plant omega-3s. Lignans, which are both good for us as far as the estrogen and the antioxidant qualities, and it has fiber. So those are really great things that our bodies, really could use more of to fight cancer. And it says recent studies have suggested that flaxseed may protect the effect against breast cancer, prostate cancer, and colon cancer. So, it may be a new wonder food. Another website that I found on flaxseed, it has protein, which I found out by mistake taking flaxseed these several months, that I have an exceptional muscle strength. I don't get achy muscles at the end of the day while working out on the farm or working around the house. And so it helps, it gives me all kinds of nutrients such as magnesium, phosphorus, copper, thiamine, and I sleep really well. So it must be the magnesium, which helps improve the mood and sleep. And also I noticed that it is, I noticed this before I looked it up, but it's also doing something to the collagen production underneath my skin. And I broke my arm about 6 weeks ago and waited 2 weeks to go to the doctor because I didn't think it was broken, and it was totally broken. So I had the little temporary cast on, and by the time I went to the specialist, they told me I didn't need a cast because it was already healing. And it was healing at an accelerated pace. So I still have a follow-up appointment, but it must do something to the bone health as well. So I did a video so that you can see how I produce the flaxseed, because I did do my due diligence and research, and you must produce, or you must take care of the flaxseed in a particular way. You cannot eat it whole. The seed has a very hard exoskeletal seed pod, which creates so that your body can't absorb it. So it will just literally go right through you. So the only way to really absorb flaxseed, the best way that I found, is to toast it in a dry pan and grind it. So I'm going to show you my methods on my video on how to do the flaxseed. Now this is just, I buy it in 10-pound bags along with my chia seed. So, and then that's the tea that I create. I put it in jars. I have to store it in, a lot of jars, because it comes in 10-pound bags, as you see. So the one jar that's in the back doesn't fit it. So this is where, I can put the link where you can buy it, but this is exactly how it's shipped in a 10-pound sack. So once you open it, you have to still keep it airtight. So I put it in these larger jars, But these jars aren't large enough, so I have to put it in these larger jars, and then put the remaining of it. This is the last one I did in June. June 4th was the date. But I also have to use smaller jars and fill those up. So we have the ball jars that we use. And this makes it easier because I only process 2 cups at a time. So you want to set your burner on a high temperature. This is what it looks like up close, the little flax seeds. They're actually really hard seeds. Your body, like I said, cannot digest them that way. Now you can soak them and they turn into like a gel-like formula. You can drink it that way, but this is the easiest way. So you heat your pan. I like to start the pan out very high. That's the NutriBullet that I use to grind it, which only takes a few seconds to grind the flaxseed. So, and then there's a jar that I store the ground flaxseed in, and then a container to let it cool off, because you really cannot. It pops like popcorn, so I learned that I had to get a screen just to pop or just to toast my flaxseed. So I start with a heated pan. I'll heat the pan on very high, on a high temperature, before I put it in, and then I turn it down on medium. So I just test it, and then I like to use a wooden spoon. So out of the 2 cups, I do a half a cup at a time. I find it's easier to toast it. You just stir it lightly. You're not burning it, but you're toasting it. And toasting is so important because what the toasting does, it kills any of the bacteria that could be in the seed, and also reduces the cyanide, which is in flaxseed, which could be, too much cyanide could be very dangerous. So, just toast it lightly and stir it, and you'll hear it pops. It sounds like popcorn, and it smells like roasted peanuts, so it's not a really bad smell at all. You just stir it, and you make a little mess because the seeds do pop out of the pan, but they're easy to clean up. And you always use a dry pan. You do not put any oil in the pan or any water. The seeds have to stay dry because they do gel up if they are exposed to any kind of moisture. So just repeat this so that all 2 cups are done, a half a cup at a time. If you do more than a half a cup at a time, that I found, it doesn't roast the seeds as well. And some seeds, do not get, toasted. So that's what they look like before and after. You start the next day, and you just repeat it until all 2 cups are done. So it's just 4 times, and it really doesn't take long at all. You just wait until you hear a popping, like popcorn, and just keep it shaking it or stirring it so the seeds do not burn. So I'll let you hear the popping sound. As soon as I hear the popping sound, I just put the screen on. They do pop out of the can, just like popcorn. And it's just, you're toasting it to just a little bit of brown. And then, because it pops so much, I'll remove it from the burner and shake it a little. Whatever way you feel is effective so that all the seeds get toasted. Anything works. This is just my method that I came up with trial and error, and it seems to work. And I've been doing it for several months now, and I just love the effects of it. So, I noticed that if I go too many days without taking my daily dose of flaxseed, that I start feeling muscle aches again, especially at night after a long day at work or on the farm, the ranch with animals. But it quickly goes away as soon as I get my next dose of flaxseed. Now, when you fill up your jar, this is all the way completed, all 2 cups. You'll notice that they're very hot. They hold a lot of heat. So I have to let that sit for about an hour. If you grind the flaxseed while they're hot, it turns to like an oily substance. So for grinding, you can grind at least half of it at a time, which I'm going to fill up this jar halfway. So it's about a cup that you're going to be able to grind. So it's a little less of a process than toasting. Toasting is a 1/4 cup, and grinding is toasting is a 1/2 cup, and grinding is 1 cup. And then you'll notice that it doesn't take very long to grind the flaxseed, but when you start seeing the whole jar, stop if you grind it too long, then it becomes like an oily substance. And tap it off of the top of the jar. I learned the first couple of times that it will stick, and when you open it, it becomes very messy. So we have our, this is what it looks like up close. It has some clumps, but you'll shake them out. You pour it in your airtight jar. Now, you should only use ground flaxseed for about a week. After a week or so, it starts losing its highly medicinal properties. So that's why we only do a couple of cups at a time. This will last about a week, and for 2 people with a daily dose of it, which you'll see. I do 3 tablespoons to a cup of water, and I demonstrate that in the end also. So the process is it's not very lengthy, but at least has to be done once a week, and we feel great. See, all the seeds were ground, so I'll shake it off the top to make sure there's no clumps. Pour that in the jar, and that's two cups done, or 2 cups completely done, toasted and ground, and that'll last us a week. Okay. That's why I shake it off the lid. That will stick to the lid, and it creates a large mess. Now, you see it is clumpy. I probably could have stopped it a few seconds earlier to get less clumps, but it does get clumpy if you grind it too long. And it will be very clumpy if you grind it while it's hot. Do not grind it while it's hot. And it's really easy to get rid of the clumps. You just shake the jar a little while it's freshly ground, and that way it doesn't stay clumpy. So that jar will last us for about a week. Next, this is how we take it. I do 3 tablespoons. You don't have to do 3 tablespoons. I'm doing 3 tablespoons to start. And I like this amount. I've tried 1 tablespoon, I've tried 2 tablespoons, and then I don't feel the effects until I do 3 tablespoons to 1 cup of water. And make sure you keep it tightly closed. Don't skimp on the jars. 1 cup of water, and stir it thoroughly. This part is a personal preference. You can let it sit for a while and it gels up. My husband likes it to be a little more gelled, and he uses the colder water, where I'll use tap water, lukewarm tap water. And I don't like the gelled texture. I like it better with a little bit grainy. I don't like it. So I only stir it for a few minutes till it's fully done, and then drink it down. It does have just like a nutty peanut flavor. I have toasted it too long before, and it doesn't taste good at all. And a lot of times I will use the leftover flaxseed that's inside the cup and drink it down. So if you do your research, you'll see that there's a lot of information on flaxseed. I really recommend everybody try flaxseed. I was really surprised to find as many articles as I did. And there's even articles on flaxseed and muscle. So, and your heart is a muscle, so you know that goes together. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and look forward to seeing you again. And I will put the links to where I buy the flaxseed, you know, on my page, so that you also can get this. Actually, it's about $24 for 10-pound bag. So there's really not much excuse not to do this. I know that in the grocery store it's a lot higher, but I will put the links on my page where you can get your flaxseed. And thank you so much. Bye-bye.